All right, so how do you see if it pops up on here?
You're going to see, you'll start seeing them come up in the chat.
It's very blurry though. You want to refresh that and see if it came up? Oh, there we go. There's some people. We got Kimberly, Kristen, Chris. Cool. Can everybody hear me okay?
There's a lot of people on.
Yeah, you can hear me? Okay. I've never done this before. Let me see. All right, where's everybody from? We got Ithaca, New York. What's up, Christina? Amy. Very cool. Hi, Addie. How are you? Where's everybody from tonight? We got people in the UK. I think it's like 11 p.m. there in the UK, right? North Carolina, West Virginia, Canada. Awesome. I'm going to give it just a second. You know what? Nick, I'm going to send you the...
I sent him the link.
Yeah, I need to send him the one email.
Okay.
Okay, so we've never done this before. This is really kind of new to all of us. But we thought it would be cool based on our last live that we did to do some live readings if we could. Right here on YouTube. All right, and what I would love to do is try to bring some people on here with me and do some live readings. I'm going to give it a second to get some people on here, let everybody kind of pile in. I know we're a couple minutes late. We've been trying to figure this out. And I want to just give you guys kind of a background while I'm waiting for everybody to kind of pile in on who I am. I know some of you know who I am. Some of you are new. So I wanted to give you kind of a bit of background on how I read, my ability as a medium, and how I do it here on YouTube. So let's see. Hi to everybody who's tuning in. What's up, Chris? The Haunted Road Trip. Awesome. Shauna, Adam, how's everybody doing? Okay, so for those of you who do not know me, maybe you've seen me with my amazing husband, Nick, on Death Walker. I've been with Omar Gosh. We've done a really cool investigation for a Jane Doe, and I was on one of his episodes. I know a lot of you are tuning in and saying that you just saw the Paranormal Files or Exploring with Josh. I've definitely done a lot of those. But prior to all of that, I have been a medium since I could remember. I had a near-death experience when I was 4 years old. I was able to see spirit before that, I believe, but I was very sick, almost died. And coming out of that is when all of this really heightened for me. So I grew up in what I like to consider to be a very haunted house. I used to see Native Americans walking around outside, given that the area I grew up in was surrounded by Native territory. People have passed away in the house that I grew up in, and so I've been able to see spirits ever since I was little. So following my near-death experience, I think I was born with the ability, but I think the near-death experience heightened my ability. My first experience was with my uncle, who passed away before I was born, and I didn't know it was my uncle. He kept coming into my room every single night, and I would be extremely afraid of him. I didn't know who it was. And finally, after so long, I decided to get some courage and ask this man who kept coming into my room why he was there. I ended up finding out that it was my uncle. He told me what he was wearing when he was buried. He gave me, somebody said, is that Nick coughing? That was Dan. But Nick is here. Nick and Dan are both here. So anyways, I told my mother what he was wearing, nicknames that he used to call people, things like that. And that's kind of how I knew that I could pick up on things that other people could not. My mother is also a medium. I believe my grandmother was a medium. And so I think it was passed down in the family. I think that is a commonality with people with abilities. I think it is somehow passed down in our family. So that's my background. From there, I began doing readings for people. I would do private readings. I was always very interested in the paranormal due to the fact that my house was haunted growing up and I would constantly have experiences. And that led my mother and I actually from a young age to look into the paranormal. We would go to Lilydale a lot and I would talk to like-minded people who were also mediums and could help me kind of navigate to see why I had this ability, maybe fine tune it a little bit. So I did a lot of developmental work. I ended up finding my own path. I love doing stage. I love doing gallery shows. I ended up doing a lot of shows in casinos and big venues. I love doing gallery shows. That I believe that came from my background in the entertainment business as well. I was a dancer my whole life. I loved the stage. So on top of doing gallery readings, I did paranormal, and that also led me into doing criminal cases, which involve missing persons, homicides, things of that nature. And so I use my ability. I know a lot of people, I started watching some of these comments. A lot of people are asking, like, how do I see spirit? How do I communicate? How do I read them? My biggest way that I pick up on them is I see them. So for those of you who are familiar with the term, it's called clairvoyance, the ability to see spirit. I'm also clairaudient, meaning that I can hear them as well. So I do a lot of remote viewing, and that is what I utilize a lot when I do criminal cases. So if I'm not in that area, which a lot of the times I am not on location for these criminal cases, if it's an active missing person, I will remote view to the area. I may look at maps and things of that nature in order to see where this person might be, pick up on their energy, and hopefully lead investigators or whoever's on that case, family members, law enforcement, to bring them back. I use that exact same tool, I like to call it, the remote viewing, to read you guys this way. So when COVID hit, I went all virtual regarding readings via Zoom. And so I use the remote viewing and all of that, just like I do in criminal cases for situations like this. So I hope that helps you guys understand how I'm able to pick up on you guys that are just here online. The interesting thing, and for you guys to understand who are watching, your loved ones are with you, they're not with me. So as you are talking to them in your mind and you're saying, oh my God, I hope Tessa picks me, and I hope that my mother or my grandmother, whoever it might be, is going to come through, you're speaking to them. And that leads me to be able to pick up on them from where I am now. So I'm picking up on those, that energy. And I kind of just go down the line. Whoever is the strongest, I usually try to go to, and then I'll try to normally find you on here. The other thing too I want to add is that I know that I'm going to be able to bring people in. So I believe what we have to do is we have to put a link, because I'm new at this application, but we have to put a link into the comments. That link is going to allow you guys to kind of go backstage for me. And then I'll be able to invite you on with me if I feel that I'm picking up on somebody for you, somebody in spirit. So let's take a look at some of the comments. I saw my mom on here. She's probably trying to get me to add her on, and I'm not going to do it. My mom always does that to me. Let's see. All right. So I don't know, Nick, can you put the link in the comments? I don't know if you can add that really quick to the comments. There is a link, and you guys are going to have to click on that if you want to come in with me and if I could do readings for you. I know there's one person in specific that I really, really would love to talk to. I was talking to you guys before about working on missing persons, homicides, things like that. And recently I put out a video. So if you guys follow me on my social media, I put out a video about an amazing gentleman. His name is Jamie Fernandez, and he was unfortunately murdered. And I was able to connect with his mother. I was very fond to her. She's a beautiful person, and I was very much able to connect with her and give her, luckily, a reading about Jamie. Jamie came through and gave her amazing messages, And I would love to bring, because after I went through and I did this reading and I gave her a whole bunch of information to hopefully bring some closure and some answers to finding who may have did this. I provided that to her, and then she contacted me more recently and was saying that there was updates on that. So I would love to talk with her and see if Jamie has anything else to say. I see a lot of people have clicked on the link, which is amazing. Let me see here. A lot of people. How are you guys doing? All right. I think, Dan, how many people can come in? 9 or 10 at a time? Is that right?
Yeah.
Up to 10. Okay, so I think up to 10 people can be in the back room, the backstage, at a time. And so then when people leave that, I believe other people can then chime in. So, all right. And then Nick, did you send that link to the email? Hold on, let me see. All right, so what questions do you guys have for me so far? Zachary says you're fascinated regarding me using my ability, I believe, to do criminal cases. Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I think mediumship, a lot of the times you see me with Nick, and we do Death Walker and we do our Groff adventures. And so you see my ability being used in the paranormal world, but I think a lot of people don't realize that you can also utilize that on criminal cases to find people. Did we send that to the email that I sent?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Okay. All right, so I don't know if the back room, I'm just trying to take a look at how to add people here. A lot of people are saying that the room is full. What's that?
Just click on that when you want them to come in.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it'll bring them on the screen.
Gotcha. I'm learning as I go. I don't know how to use this application, so I'm just trying to figure it out. Okay. Well, until I see her, I'm going to continue answering some questions, maybe add another person in. I know some people are saying that it won't let you join. Reason is because there can only be 10 people in the back room. Elizabeth says it's packed. Yeah. It is packed. The room is packed, which is cool. And I'm going to end up bringing some people in. Just taking a look at your comments. Where is everybody from? Don't worry if the room is full. Eventually it's going to open up, and I think we can add more people after that. Okay. How do you keep track of a chat as fast as things go? I don't. I have Nick watching the chat too, because it's very difficult to keep up. I love the fact that there's so many people here. There's my mom. See her in the chat right there? Gail Del Zappo. She's a very, very good medium, and I learned a lot from her over the years. So, all right. So I want to acknowledge this too. Before I bring anybody in, I want you to know that normally before I start doing readings, and this could be private readings, it could be my gallery shows that I do places, but I always start picking up on things before I even get to speak with somebody. And it was interesting because I was talking about this younger gentleman who unfortunately was murdered, and that I was talking to his mother, and I did a reading more recently for the mother. And what's interesting is I feel like sometimes there's patterns that happen. And so I don't know for who in here has a younger gentleman who would have passed, but I do feel that there would be a younger gentleman who would have passed for somebody. And I feel like I want to talk about somebody's son. I'm going to start writing a couple things down before I even pick on somebody, because I do feel that somebody's son would be here who wants to speak. I keep feeling like my mom's here, but this is separate from what I was going to talk about with Tina. So I don't know who this is just yet, but just give me 1 second. I'm going to write a couple things down. Let's see. Actually, we're in the month of July, so I don't know if there's a connection to this month. I just circled the month of July. All right, hold on 1 second. How do you add it?
Just this little button right there if you want to add somebody.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Let's see if I could add somebody. Let's see how this works. All right, let's see. Do you just like make it big?
Mm-hmm. Click on that.
Oh, there we go. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hi, what's your name?
Yvette.
Yvette?
Yes, it's French name, but I'm Dutch. I live in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay. Amazing. You're from the Netherlands. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me fix the screen really quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Can you turn your camera sideways for me? Is that possible?
This way?
There you go. Yeah. Now, how do I get it to where you can see us? You're perfect. Give me 1 second. I just want to try to fix this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or share it.
It's cool.
I know it's
Makes
fun,
it a
isn't it?
full screen.
I clicked on it. It's not working. Shift 2.
Or maybe.
Give me 1 second, Yvette.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm trying to. Oh, it made my screen really big. I'm just playing with this because I couldn't figure out how to get you, like both of us, on here.
Okay.
All right. Now my comments are gone. That's so sad. Okay. All right. So I'm going to just start since I know everybody can't see me, but as long as everybody can hear me, that would be wonderful. Huh?
Just go to this.
I lost you.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't see anything now.
I know.
can't
I'm
even...
trying to put my face back up here. I don't know how to put it back on here. Give me 1 second.
Oh, that's the comments. That's why.
Oh, is it this one right here? I see.
What is it? Show 6.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Comments are gone. All right. Well,
Yep.
this is what I'm going to do. I know nobody could probably see my face right now, which is okay. I might actually just do this really quick and try to bring you back in. You think I should just try that?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on 1 second, Yvette.
Okay.
Okay. There's Nick's face. How do we? I love you, but how do we get you out of here? What do you do?
Go back to.
Do this right here.
No.
And then try this. Ready? And we got Nick's face on here. Look at that. Okay. All right. You're going to just have Nick's face next to you for no reason, okay?
Okay. But I don't see Nick. I don't see me.
You don't see Nick. Is it just me who sees Nick on the screen?
I think so, but I don't know. Maybe I can.
Lucky me.
All right. Yeah, I turned my phone again. Now it's working. Now I see you. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, thank you for being patient. And all right, so this is what we're going to do. So, okay, I was picking up on a younger gentleman, and I was saying that, I had this woman that I was hopefully going to bring on tonight to talk about her son passing. And then I kept hearing that there was another gentleman and that I'm looking for my mother. And as I looked and luckily, as I'm looking through the people in the back room here, all of a sudden I saw your name and I heard that's her. Now, have you lost a son?
I lost a son, at 17.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I just got chills. So this is where I want to go. Okay. The first thing that I want to talk about is he's mentioning this month, and we're in the month of July. Now, I don't know if that resonates regarding a birthday and anniversary, but for some reason he's bringing up this month. You understand why he's bringing this up?
Yes.
Okay. So now who is this for? Is it his birthday, your birthday, an anniversary?
It's his sister's birthday, the 26th.
Oh my God. Okay. So he wants to wish his sister a happy birthday. Okay. Now, the one thing is I have paper here, and what I do is I write as I read. And the one thing that I wrote is that he snapped his fingers and he said that he passed very quickly. And I feel as though this would have, whenever they show blinders, that means that the family would have been blindsided by what would have happened. There was not any, it's weird. There's no trail leading up to why this would have happened, which leads me to believe he also just said, I take responsibility for the events that played out. Okay. So do you understand why he would have said that?
I think I do, yeah.
Okay. The one thing he wants you to know, now I'm not too sure where the impact would have come from, but what I just felt was either something very quick that would have kind of swept him off his feet, or an actual impact, because it could be either literal or non-literal.
Non-literal.
Okay.
Yeah.
He wants you to know that he is okay, because he said you either tried to get there or you just weren't able to. But he said, I need you to know that I am okay. That he knew that you were on your way there. So I don't know if he means you were on your way to where he was, or if the hospital, I'm not too sure, but he says it was like he already left his body. His soul had already left his body, and he knew you were on your way there. And so he wants you to know that, because he says that it sits with you that you weren't able to get there, and you kept saying, did he know that I was coming? Did he know that I was coming? So you understand why he's bringing this up to you, because I feel like he needs to clarify this with you so you can actually sleep. He goes, my mom doesn't sleep.
Oh my goodness. How do you know?
Because he's telling me, don't make me cry. Don't make me cry already.
It's all true so far. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because he says, now here's what's interesting, right? Spirit comes to us at night a lot, and the reason being is because our bodies are at rest at this time, and so we're able to pick up on them more. But he goes, I'm sitting next to her at night, but she just won't sleep, and so she can't feel me because she can't sleep. And one of the reasons you can't sleep is because you have this heaviness of guilt on you regarding him passing. Now, can I have his first name?
I would have called him Danny.
Denny?
Yeah.
Okay. So he brought up the month of October. He just showed me October. I'm going to write that down, either the number 10 or October. So I'm writing this down really quick, because sometimes it doesn't make sense at first, but it will.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He's also saying that there was the missed phone call. So, okay. So what he just said is there was a missed phone call either the day before this would have taken place or the day of, because he's making it show this short proximity of when, I don't know if it was him calling you and you missed the call, but there's something about a missed phone call or a voicemail, or I'm calling, somebody's calling, or it's you calling him. But there's something about a missed call.
Yeah, there is something with a call. Yeah.
Okay. So as long as you understand what he's telling me, because he's saying, ask her about the missed call. And I do feel, now what's interesting is I don't feel he would have been at home. Okay. He's not showing me that I was at home. He makes me feel like I was away from home. He also makes me feel that there was somebody else with him at the time of his passing.
Okay.
So he shows two people, one being him and another person. And what I feel like is that this person was either there before this took place and then left, or was there for it taking place and then left. You understand? So he keeps saying there is somebody. And what's interesting is he goes, my mom keeps thinking this, or my mom has this thought that this is true, and I need to validate this for her. And that's why he's bringing this up.
Okay.
Now, was he like very far away? Was he from you? Was he very far away? Did he go? Because I feel like it would have been either, it would have taken like a plane or something to go to where he was going. So I don't know why I feel like I would have had to travel. He just showed me traveling to get to where he was.
I think he's talking about my foster brother.
Okay. Now, how do you understand that so that I can kind of comprehend it?
Because my foster brother killed himself. He threw himself with a train, in front of the train.
Okay. Now, what's his name?
His name was Arno. Arno.
Arno. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, would he have had the connection to October?
No, the month before.
Okay.
But maybe October could be. It could be, yeah. maybe I don't know the exact date he died. So
So you know what? Just hold on to it, because
okay,
sometimes it doesn't come to us right away. But for some reason, there is the date of October coming up, and it's important. And the minute you said Arno, I went back to where I wrote October. Okay, so just hold on to it. Maybe it'll click. I don't know. Now, the interesting thing is your mother has also passed.
I wish. Sorry,
Well, there is a. Don't do that to me.
I'm sorry. No, he's still alive.
Well, there is, put it this way, there is a mother figure on the other side, whether this be a grandmother or if it's somebody who you would have seen as a mother. Because what's interesting is Denny said, let her know that she's here. This mother,
Oh, my grandmother. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
because was he close with her from a kid? Because I feel like she would have been
No,
very protective either over you or him, because she just has
over
this
me.
bright light around her,
Yeah.
very motherly, and she wants you to know, she's like, I got this, don't worry, I've got him wrapped up in my arms, he's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as far as Arno, okay, it's interesting because would he have passed before Denny?
After.
Okay, so he stood off to the side. Okay, what just happened is he stood off to the side, and what I feel is he would have maybe alienated himself. It's kind of a double message. I feel like he would have went quiet for quite some time before his passing. You understand? And so I keep seeing you wanting to reach out, and try to get his attention, help him. And I feel like you were kind of that person for him for quite some time, helping him and trying to reach out. And he said, I just want you to know that that's not your fault, and I stood off to the side for my own purposes. And he wants to clarify that for you, because you carry it between your poor son and now him. I feel like there's just so much guilt that you carry on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like they're coming in to really just try to put that to rest for you. Arno keeps saying you did everything you possibly could, everything you could for him. I feel like he was just on this roller coaster. I feel like there was a lot of different things, and I won't go into that, because I do feel that Denny's kind of the one who wants to take the spotlight right now. But for peace of mind, just know that Arno is okay, and he doesn't blame you for anything, and he just says you did everything you possibly could. Okay.
Okay.
Regarding Denny, I have to ask you, do you have did he used to let's see here. I don't know what the significance of the elephant is. Hold on. So there's something about like what looks to me like, you ever see how people have figurines, like glass elephant figurines?
Yeah.
So he's showing me a glass elephant figurine, and sometimes people have that, like where you like face it towards the door and it's good luck or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He's messing with you, and he'll go and he'll turn your elephant or knock it down or do things to your elephant. So have you found it moved or something? Because he's laughing and he thinks he's hilarious.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It's a mini elephant. Yeah, from glass.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Okay, because he's laughing. I just want you to know. So he has like a very bright light around him. He wants you to know he still carries his same sense of humor, and he just wants you to know that he's okay. And he goes, just pay attention to that elephant, because I have fun messing with you with that.
Okay.
Okay. Yvette, thank you so much for coming on here with me.
You're welcome, and thank you so much. I'm so glad, and now I can just put it away and
Yeah,
not think about it so much.
he's with
I'm
you.
grateful. I'm
Yeah,
grateful.
with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay. There we go. Now
that opens up one and you can pick another one.
Yeah.
Tina's trying to come on, but there's no room.
Okay. I don't know how to get her on. Okay, so let's see. I know. Wow, that was a lot, huh? I'm so glad that I can do this for you guys. This was actually, I'm not gonna lie, this was Nick's idea. Nick's been the one pushing this, and I'm glad he did. I'm glad he did, because this is amazing. All right, now I want to try to open up some room here because I know Tina's trying to get on. Tina, if you're watching right now, I do know that you're trying to get on. I just don't know how to get you on, but I will. So I'm sorry. This is new to me. Yeah, so this was Nick's idea. He's one of the most supportive people that I have, and he's way better at this technology stuff than me. So, yeah, that was amazing. And what's interesting is I found that when I do live readings like this, and it could be in a gallery show when I do, casinos or venues, or it could be on situations like this where I used to do a podcast and I used to do live readings like this, or sometimes I would just go live on Facebook and do readings. And I've noticed that there's patterns. And so, I've noticed there's patterns, right? So I think that me wanting to connect with Tina and her losing her son then kind of allows this other gentleman to come through, Denny, for his mother. I know a couple people are saying, like, what if a reading that I'm giving resonates with you? I always say take the message for you as well, because unfortunately I can't read everybody, although I would love to. But I do think that with the fact that I was just talking about these patterns, and that, maybe a few people unfortunately have lost their son. Maybe there's a mutual message that comes through that can resonate with everybody. So I just saw somebody had asked that question. So that's my answer. I think that if it resonates with you, take it as a message from your loved one as well. That's something I learned a long time ago. Let's see. Hi to everybody who's joined me. I don't know if you saw our last reading, but it was amazing. I'm never not amazed by the messages that come through, and I do this almost every day. Let's see. All right, now I want to try to bring other people in, and I would love to bring Tina on. I just don't know how to get her in here. Let me see. I'm not too sure how to bring her on, but I'm gonna figure it out. Do you know how? Oh, I see. I don't know how to do it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold on one second. All right. So the other thing I want to talk about is I want to talk to Tina. I want to bring her on here. If I could get her on here, that would be amazing. I am picking up on a younger female, though, who wants to come through, which is interesting. So I don't know where they belong just yet, but I will figure it out. Yeah, there's a younger female who definitely wants to connect. Keep feeling like it would be somebody's sister. Let's see here. So, Nick, if you could add the link back in there too at some point. Huh? Okay. Oh, I found her. All right. So let me go back for a second. I wanted to talk to you guys. So there was a gentleman named Jamie Fernandez. And if you guys follow me on social media, I'm not sure if everybody heard this before I did my other reading, but this amazing, amazing gentleman, Jamie Fernandez, he was unfortunately murdered. And I was able to connect with his mother, Tina, and we had a very long reading. She was crying. I was crying. I feel like she's my family now. I feel like just a strong connection to her, and I always will. But I gave her some information from her son on the other side to hopefully bring some closure, some validation, not only to her, but to the case, given that it's, still open, unfortunately. So what I want to do is I want to bring Tina in. I want to talk to you, Tina. I want to hear the updates maybe that you have, anything that you're willing to share. I know there's a lot of things that need to be concealed and quiet for the privacy of your family, but I would love to hear from you. Let me see if I can add Tina on.
Hi.
How are you?
Oh, I'm so happy to hear from you again.
Oh, I'm so
I
happy.
feel the same.
Yes. Like I said, I feel like she's like family now.
Yes, I'm always following. I'm always watching. My heart goes out to your family.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I just so much love sent to you.
You as
So
well.
I was telling everybody about your beautiful, amazing son.
Yes.
And so I don't know what you want to share with us, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to touch base with you. And, I know that there's information out there that people can actually help, you.
Yeah.
to bring some justice to Jamie and his case. So whatever you want to say, please go ahead, fill us in. Is there any updates on what's going on? After the reading I gave to you, did any of that information help you?
Absolutely. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. You had given me an amazing reading, and then you had a friend of yours do a sketch for me, and immediately we recognized two of the three assailants. And I forwarded all of that information to the detective. And in your reading, you had told me that one of the assailants or bystanders was actually incarcerated at the time that you gave me the reading. But we didn't know that. We thought he was still wandering around in the streets and hanging around in the neighborhood. But actually, he was incarcerated at the time of the reading. And when I got the sketch and I forwarded it to the detective, I said, I absolutely know who this person is. We immediately did a search, in the prisons, and there he was. And he had actually went to prison on March 29th. So the detectives are making arrangements to go and speak to him. So that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, I got chills. Well, I'll tell you what,
Me
Jamie,
too.
I've done a lot of criminal cases and missing persons and homicides. And Jamie came through so strong. Like I told you that day, Nick and I were doing, I think we were filming. He was with me the whole day. I couldn't shake it. And he, and that shows how strong of a person when he was here in the physical world and just his soul in general. And so the fact that he was able to come through and give that information, because I don't give credit to myself, I give credit to Jamie. He's the one who gave you that information. I was just the medium to be able to relay that. And so to hear that there is maybe some justice, at least the ball is rolling with this to try to bring justice to your situation.
I found it. I was overwhelmed today when I found out that we were going to be talking again, because we are actually coming up on his 2-year anniversary, July 17th. So his birthday was July 15th. He would have been having a birthday this Saturday, and then he was unalived on the 17th. So I just found it so odd that all of this is moving forward, and you reached out to me, and I had to tell you that because of your sketch artist and your readings, things are moving along. So I'm sure it's going to be slow, but because of your sketch artist and your reading is the only reason why we're moving forward.
Oh,
Nobody else knew anything, had any information. There's still to this day, there are 0 tips on silent witness.
wow. It amazes
So thanks to you.
Oh, well, that's one thing, right? So on the video that I posted, I know Silent Witness, if anybody knows anything or has any leads or tips, they could go to Silent Witness and they could anonymously provide tips, correct?
Yes. We finally made it up to, the family has to raise the silent witness reward. So we've only made it to 5,000. I know that's not a lot of money, but even if, when you leave a tip, the way that it works is you don't receive the money until they have an arrest. So no one is given anything, not anything. It is completely a silent witness. They don't ask information, your personal information, anything like that. You just leave the tip, what you know, what you heard, what you saw. If you do want to receive the money, then of course you do have to leave your information, but no one has said anything, not one.
Wow. And so the tips that you're looking for would obviously go towards the reward for anybody who brings forward information, correct?
Absolutely. If anyone is able to provide a tip that leads to an arrest, they would receive the money. Yes.
Okay. So people are able to send me tips right here on YouTube. So how about if anybody's willing to send a tip here on YouTube, I'll just send it all to you.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I know it's not, I know you have another platform for that, but I could always just send it directly to you. So for those of you who are watching, I know we have a bunch of people here right now. If you are willing to send a tip here, it'll go directly to Tina and to your fund toward Jamie.
Absolutely. And I can forward everything over to the detectives, the silent witness. anything helps. Like I told you in the last reading we had, he has two younger brothers, and this is just overwhelming for them. The youngest one was 19, and they had to witness that horrible night, and they have to go the rest of their lives, Tessa. You know, they're 21 and 23, but they still have a long way to go. And as a mother, I have all three kids to look out for, and my heart breaks because I cannot make this right for them. I can't bring one back from the dead, and I cannot mend my other two kids' hearts. So as a mother, this is all I have to do, is to make it my rest of my life's mission to find who unalive my son, bring him justice and closure for my other baby.
Well, like
That's
I told
all I can do.
you, have me on your side, and anything I could do or provide to you, I promised you, and I'm going to fulfill that promise, that I am going to help you through this until justice is brought for him.
You have done everything you have said you were going to do. And I appreciate that, because I'm alone out here. I don't have anyone to help me. And I do understand with the sheriff's departments, this happens daily. And there's only so much they can do.
Yeah.
They have other cases and families to help. So I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Tina. I love you, and I promise
I
you,
love you
anything
too.
I can hear. So, for those of you who are listening, if you want to send a donation, it will go directly to Tina. And I told you this isn't the last that you hear from me, and I promise you that we're going to keep working on this until we get some answers and bring some justice. And I have to say, Jamie just showed me. Did your husband go golfing recently?
Yeah.
Did he? Because he said, "Thank God, my dad's finally going golfing because I was with him."
Oh, yeah, he did.
Did he? Good. So let him know that he's with him, because they used to do it together. And so,
Yes, they did, and it took him all this time to go. And I said, Tessa told you to go. And my husband told me to tell you. He said, tell that woman I love her. And he went, and he felt amazing, and he said he felt like Jamie was with him. So
oh, he was. And it was so funny because you hadn't told me that, but he
Nope.
just said, he goes, let my mom know, I know that dad went golfing and I was with him. And so that's just his way to validate for you that I am there. I am with you. I'm with dad. And so just hold on to that. Know that he's with you. He is at peace. And we're going to keep working on this. I promise.
I will tell my husband.
Okay. Tina, you enjoy your night. Thank you for joining me.
Tessa, anytime. Thank you.
Okay. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I just love her. That's the thing. As a medium, it's so interesting. A lot of people have asked, like, is it tiring, or does it take energy in order to do readings and to do these things? And yeah, of course it does. I think just the biggest part of this, I think the toughest to deal with, and Nick can validate this too, because he's here with me every day. He sees it happening. And I think, like, the toughest part for me is I know what I see and I know what I feel. And in situations with criminal cases and things like that, and look at, somebody just donated $50. There you go, Tina. We already got something. Thank you so much. It says S. Diaz. Thank you so much. All of this is going to go straight to Tina. I promise her. So, but the hardest thing, I think, is working on a criminal case and knowing details and knowing names or people who would have been involved, and then you hand it over, and law enforcement can only do so much in a short amount of time. Or if we're it's frustrating when there is no justice brought and you can only do so much, and you wish that you could do more. And I stay up at night sometimes thinking about all of this too, and Nick has to tell me to go to sleep and to put it down for just a moment. So it's very difficult. So I think that's probably the hardest part. But I'm never going to stop doing it. That's what I love to do. Okay. So I know that there's some people back here waiting. I'd love to bring other people in. And so for those of you who are still here, those of you who are joining, I think only 10 people can join at a time, or be like backstage or whatever you want to call it. And so I would love to bring some more people in. and see who I can pick up on. Thank you so much for everybody who's tuning in. We have some more donations coming in. Thank you guys so much. You have no idea how much that means. Nick and I have a lot of different things we like to try to fund and fundraisers for all of this stuff. And anytime we could really help, I think that, you know, as if you have a following on social media and things like that, I feel like it's kind of our duty to help and to utilize our platform to be able to bring awareness or to help in situations like this. I know there's somebody who had asked, if you lost a baby, do babies ever come through? Are they the age that they are now, or when they were born? So the answer to that is yes, babies do come through. I have read people from all ages, people who have lost a child at birth, people who have lost young children, older. I mean, there is no age limit. Sometimes you pick up on just the soul of that child rather than the age that it was. And so sometimes there is no real age attached. You can identify that that person may have passed away at birth or as a baby, but you're connecting with the soul of that person. And so I don't know if that makes sense to you, but sometimes there is no age attached. And so I find that interesting. And I think the souls that have come back multiple times have more of the, they have a lot to them. They have a lot to say. It's not their first time around, you know? So there are some babies who would have passed who bring forward a ton of information. And it's kind of like, how do they know this stuff if they just passed as a baby? And the reason is because I believe they've been here for a long, long time. And sometimes it's not their time to come through, and maybe they will come through in the future. And also same thing with pets. I know a lot of people ask about pets. I do readings where pets come through pretty much as humans because a pet, any animal has a soul, and the soul communicates the same way as a human. So I hope that helps you guys. So I was picking up, before I was talking to Tina, what's interesting is I was picking up on a sister. I kept hearing like, my sister's here. And so I would love to try to connect with somebody who would have lost their sister. Let me see here. Whoopsie daisy. Why do I always do that? I always mess up the screen. I should just not touch anything. Okay, so anyways, there is a sister energy who would have passed, and I'm going to look because there are some people backstage. So I'm going to just try to take a look to see. And for those of you who are not back here, if you are in the chat and you feel like this message may resonate with you, take it as a sign, take it as a message for you as well. I want to just go through who's backstage here. I see everybody. I just want to bring somebody forward because what I feel like is there's this younger female. Let me see here. Let's see who this is. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you where are you tuning in from?
West Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here's the thing, right? So I'm new to this application, this whole thing that Nick and Dan set up for me. But anyways, I saw you back there, your name popped up, and I keep feeling this younger female. I feel like she would have been a best friend. I keep hearing best friend, but I'm like, but that's not the relationship. The relationship is actually a sister, but would have been like your best friend. So have you lost a sister?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Now, were you guys close in age? Because she keeps saying like you were so much alike, almost as if, you know, and maybe this is why, because she just showed me like the symbol for twins. And I don't believe you were twins. So what I feel like she's trying to say is that you were maybe like twin souls, like that type of connection where like you could pick up on her, she could pick up on you, even if you weren't near each other. Just a very strong connection. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's your sister's name?
Stacy.
Stacy? Okay. Let's see. So what's interesting is she gave me pain right in my chest. And whenever I start picking up on things, it could mean how they would have passed. She could be, you know, identifying things that led up to her passing. So I don't know if her passing had to do with either the lungs or the heart area, because she gave me like a pain right here. And what's interesting, say it again.
She had a massive heart attack.
Gotcha. Because she went straight to the chest and gave me a pain. What's interesting though is she said that there was, you know how you have signs that this could happen. Some people who have a heart attack, maybe they're on medication or there's things like that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is she said, but there wasn't any of that for me. There was really no signs. I feel like she also said, she goes, but I wasn't that good at taking care of myself. So she kind of puts blame on the fact that I feel like there was a couple things she could have done for herself, but she said, she's like, I was too busy with other things. And so I just put it to the back burner. And then this kind of hit out of nowhere. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. She needs you to know she's okay. And I know that that's a generic thing, but she goes, my sister asks constantly if I'm okay. Am I okay? Am I okay? Because it was such a quick, massive thing that happened. I feel like communication was just cut. There was no talking about this. There was no, getting in touch. And I feel like there was a couple day time span of, let's see here, phone tag. She keeps talking about the phone tag.
Yeah.
Her, she calls you, you call her, she calls you, but you don't actually get to talk.
Yeah.
And she goes, it's like this phone tag thing, and then all of a sudden, boom, this happened. Now, okay. Now, does she have children? Did she have children? Because she keeps talking about, I got to talk about the kids. I got to talk about the kids.
Yes.
She says, thank you to you for keeping up on the kids, because she said she has a daughter.
Yes. She was 7 weeks old when she passed away.
Oh my God. Okay. Ooh, that gave me chills. Okay, because she says it's the daughter that she was most concerned about. And now I understand why. Okay. Now you have a grandfather who steps in, who is very adamant to let you know that I've got her, and I feel like you would have been very close with Grandpa too. He has a big smile on his face. I feel like he is just, I feel like he would have been the life of the party type of person, and would have made anybody feel better. Like him just being here with me right now to tell me this information makes me feel good. So he has good energy. And so he steps in to really talk about the fact that I'm here. I'm with Stacy. I have her, and this is important. And I do feel that Grandpa would have been watching over her daughter, the baby, when this happened. Like there was a lot of protection from the other side regarding, and maybe this is why she's bringing up her daughter so much, because I feel like there's just a lot of worry around the baby, a lot of worry. Now you really stepped in to help out with this, is what she's saying. Like you kind of made her your own in a sense. You understand?
Yeah, I try.
And she says, I can't thank you enough for this. I can't thank you enough. She does want you to know too that she realizes there's some things that I feel like she has some personal items that you either want, or there's things that you kind of seek of hers. Like, I wish I would have had that. And for some reason, you're unable to get those things. So I don't know if they're just not being given to you for a reason, because I keep feeling a roadblock coming up whenever she's bringing up, like, oh, she wants this piece of jewelry, she wants this, but there's a roadblock, and you're either not able to get that or get in touch with somebody to get these things. And she says it's very frustrating. Does that make any sense to you?
Yes, it does.
She said, okay, because she's not happy about it. Okay, so she's got this energy of kind of like, she's not happy about it. Okay, so I won't go into detail just for the purpose of privacy and things like that here, but
yes.
She's just saying, know that I know about this and I'm not happy about it. Eventually you will get those things, but she's very, very happy that you're taking over the kids and you're kind of swooping in kind of like mom and being that for them. You had a dream right after her passing, is what she said. And she said, that was my way of coming to you to let you know that I'm okay. But what's with you getting the headaches? Because right now I have a really bad headache. And she says you've been getting ongoing headaches more recently. You understand?
Yeah, I've been. Yeah. I usually get headaches a lot, but they kind of slow down, but I've been getting them again.
Okay, because she goes, I don't want her to wait like I did regarding my health. I want you to go and I want you to figure it out because she says this is ongoing. And she goes, I want my sister to take care of herself.
Okay.
Okay.
That's good to know.
But your grandpa's here. And what's interesting is I smell cigarette smoke. And so I think whenever he comes around you, you'll smell the cigarette smoke. So I don't know if he was a smoker or how you understand that, but he just made me smell it very strong and there's no smoke around me right now. So he says, let her know that that's me whenever she smells that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So just know that that's his way of coming through to say, I'm here. I've got your sister. We're good. And we're with you. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. So just know that they're all right. And I appreciate you coming on here and allowing me to give you those messages.
I appreciate you so much. You just don't know.
Oh, thank you so much. You have a wonderful rest of your night and I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that this is working. I hope that I would love to keep doing this. Can we do this every Wednesday, Nick?
Yeah, I just announced it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
He announced it, he said. That's so funny. Yeah, that's so cool. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, we plan to keep it. Gotcha. Yeah, so if you guys want, me to keep doing this, I would love for you guys to just share this feed. Let us know if you want me to keep doing this. I'm glad I have a platform to be able to continue to do this. Is there any other questions you guys have here? I know there's some people waiting back here to come on here, and I'd love to bring somebody on. Yeah, I'd love to bring somebody else on. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to try to grab somebody else and bring them on. Oops, I hope it didn't freeze. It didn't freeze, right? That's just mine.
You know, it says so many people here.
Yeah. A lot of people are asking if I am going to open up any private readings. I would love to open up more readings. As of right now, just due to our filming schedule and the fact that I have so many readings booked, I don't have any private reading openings. That's why I would love to come on here and be able to just touch base with people and communicate and things like that. So I do want to talk about, so there's a military figure who comes in, and I'm not too sure who I'm with here, but there's a military figure. And I'm going to go backstage and I'm going to grab somebody because there's definitely a very strong military. Let's see here. I think I'm right here. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Owen. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you think you can turn your camera? I'm not too sure what's the camera.
Oh, is it not on or here?
No, you're on. There you are. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Now the only thing to do is just turn my volume down. Just so that we don't. That's perfect. I just didn't want to get an echo in here. Okay. So how are you? Oh, now I can't.
I'm good, thank you.
There you go. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from Massachusetts, Western Mass.
Oh, get out of here. Okay. Now, what's this? I felt a strong figure come through. And the minute that I went kind of backstage to find people, I saw you, and I believe that this person is for you. I don't know if this would be this. I feel as though that this person would have passed younger than expected. Okay. And so I feel like this is the pattern today. Remember, I was talking about patterns. I feel like some young people have passed, and for some reason, they're all kind of coming forward today. And so I do feel that this would have been a younger male who would have passed. And I do feel the military connection because he saluted to me. Who would this be for you in connection?
This would probably be my grandfather and my great uncle's best friend. So basically he, obviously I won't tell you the whole story, but it's military related and he died when he was young. and his body is not in the U.S. It's not found.
That's so interesting. So I don't know. I kind of want to go with your grandfather, okay? Because I know you brought two people, but your grandfather really kind of resonated with me. I kept seeing somebody shake their head, yes, like that's me. Not to say that they're not both here, but I want to acknowledge that your grandfather. It's so weird that you said that he's not here in the U.S. I saw a question mark, okay? And whenever Spirit shows me a question mark, that means there's question around either what would have happened, where they are, anything. And he showed me a ton of question marks. But I feel like aside from that his body's not here, I do feel that the question mark is a double meaning, because I feel like regarding his passing, there is still question about how was he killed. I know it's military related, but it's like, how was he killed? Who did this? And then where is he? There's just no answers. It's almost like poof, grandpa's gone and that's it. And there's no answers whatsoever. As if he got like plucked off the earth, which is so weird in the way that they showed it to me, but it's almost like somebody just plucked him and that's it. And there's no answers. What was your grandfather's first name? What was your grandfather's first name? Oh, say that one more time.
So actually, the figure my grandfather. The figure was my grandfather and my greatest friend, actually. So he's a friend of my grandfather who's living and uncle who's living.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. That's fine. What's his name? As long as that's fine. What's his name?
His name is Richard Graves.
Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky. Richie, actually. Is what they called him.
I was just going to say Richie because he was laughing. He's like, they don't call me.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on from what I've heard.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Said his passing had to do with a body of water.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if it's or if it's just because I see a ship. So I don't know what the oh, you know what? Real quick, the echo. You don't have headphones, do you? No headphones. Okay, you're just gonna turn it down while I talk. That's fine. Okay, so this way it's just not echoing for people. Okay, so anyways, I keep seeing a body of water, and I'm just going to kind of throw it at you, and then you can come back on and you could tell me how it resonates with you, okay? So anyways, he showed me a body of water. He showed me a ship. Now, I'm not too sure what the connection to the ship and the water is. Again, I don't know if it's Navy or if there was just a ship involved, okay? What's interesting is I feel like your grandfather, because it's his friend, I feel like in his mind, he has had dreams. He has vividly seen what took place, or somebody, whoever this is that he's connected to, has seen exactly what took place because he's showed it to them. Not that it matters at this point, because he says, my body will never be found. And that's not important. He goes, it's not important. My body will never be found. But what's interesting is I feel like he had such a connection with people. He had such a strong personality and such a strong, that it's hard to not remember him. He also talks about old tattoos and stuff that they would have gotten, like, those jailhouse tattoos where, like, you do them yourself. I don't know what the connection to that is, but I feel like somebody would have done a tattoo on their own, or this was something that they did together at some point, and I'm not too sure what that means, but it's not like we went to a tattoo parlor and we got this done. They did it to themselves or to each other, and he keeps talking about this, okay? He says, I don't want them to worry about where I am, but the visions that people have thought and the people who have said, I think this happened to him, and I keep seeing water and I keep seeing this. He goes, that is what happened. I almost feel like he was kidnapped, and I don't know how else to explain it, but it's almost this feeling of somebody taking him or kidnapping him, but then their body ended up in the water. He is okay, and he is at peace, and he comes around quite often. And you said this would be your grandfather's friend. Now, has your grandmother passed as well? Because there's a beautiful woman in Stepford.
Yeah, my great grandmother.
Gotcha. She just had the biggest smile on her face. Like, of course, let this go yet.
Mm-hmm. What'd you say?
She came in a great grandmother. So I don't know if there's like a picture that she's referring to of like, oh, he'll know what this means because there's this picture of me, but she showed me this dress and it's got lace all over it. And she's talking about her dress and she goes, this is what I look like. And she's got a big smile on her face and she's just bringing forward the fact that she's like, I'm around too and I'm protecting everybody. She thanks you for keeping up on your grandfather, keeping up on him and checking in and going there. And she just keeps saying, you know, I'm watching over you, I'm watching over him. And she just thanks you for that. I feel like she would have lived a very long life. And so she feels whenever Spirit shows me a closed book, that means I lived a long life. I'm happy with that. You know, I don't feel like I missed out on anything. She's just a very bright light. And so she's around you quite often. But this military gentleman, he just wants to remember the good times. He keeps saying, I want to remember the good times. They'll never find me. But whoever this is who had the dream, and maybe you can ask these questions because I don't know if you know it to be true, but it's almost like it played out in a dream. They had a dream. They saw the whole entire thing play out. And he was like, I did that. I sent that to you to show you what happened to me. You understand?
Yeah, I've got two points to make. So the kidnapping is, so essentially he crashed in an airplane off of a carrier. He was struck by anti-aircraft and crashed into the South Vietnam coast. And when they went to recover his body, the rescue helicopter was taking fire from the anti-aircraft artillery. So they prevented him from being recovered, essentially.
I see. Because I saw So,
and then, what?
Go ahead.
And then my grandmother, I mean, so I have a picture that I look at every night of her and my great grandfather, and it's in her wedding dress, actually, believe it or not. And she lived a long life. She was 92, and just, yeah, very friendly, very happy, and she definitely watched over everyone. She was here too.
Well, she's very much present. She's around you all the time. And I just feel that it's important that she brings that forward. And maybe it's because you look at this picture and that's obviously her way of validating, like, he looks at this constantly. Now he'll know it's me and I am around a lot. So just pay attention to that. And just know that Richie is definitely around. He comes to visit. He's okay. But it was interesting that he kind of tapped me on the shoulder to say, we got to talk about this because I feel like there's just so many questions and maybe you can relay those messages to those people for him.
Yeah, certainly. I definitely will, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So good to talk.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Well, that was interesting. That was very interesting. Interesting how I see things. I know there's a lot of questions on the side about, like, how do I see spirit, or like, what is it that I utilize in order to do this? I think somebody mentioned, like, what source do you draw from? I don't know. I can't tell you. I think that everybody kind of has their own pathway regarding how they read and stuff. And for me, I see them in my mind as if they're just people standing here with me. You know, like the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze, how Whoopi Goldberg just kind of picks up on Patrick Swayze and she could hear him. She couldn't see him. The difference between her and I is I could see him, but it's kind of like that. It's where you feel them and they're just here with you. And that doesn't mean that they're trapped by any means. That doesn't mean that they're just lingering the earth and that they're trapped. If they feel they need to deliver a message, then they'll come to me. But they're never just with me. They're always with you guys and they check in on you. And so I hope that answers your question. Okay, let's see. I know there's a lot of people still waiting. And so just to reiterate to everybody, I think they only allowed 10 people in the back room area to do the link and stuff. So I want to try to bring somebody else in and also maybe answer some questions. Nick, did you see any questions that I need to answer? Where'd Nick go? I'm not sure if there's any questions that I should answer that you saw that I'm not seeing. Oh, this is a cool question. Jennifer said, why do some people, where did it go? Why do some people come through but others don't? Such as you can pick up on certain people, but not all. Just curious how that works. You know, that is interesting. And it's not that your loved ones aren't with you. I believe that some people have a lot of questions, a lot of guilt and things surrounding other people's passing, because us here in the physical world, we are the ones who have a hard time, and we grieve, and we have questions, and we wish we could have done this, or we wish we would have said that. Whereas them on the other side, they don't necessarily have those questions and that guilt, and they don't grieve because they're still around and they're in a better place. And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. Like, they're in a better place. And so, so to answer your question, why do some people come through? I think just because some of them feel that they need to give some closure. Maybe they didn't get to say goodbye. Maybe there was questions regarding their passing. And so their energy comes through a bit more strong than other people. And I pick up on the people who are very, very strong, and they kind of push themselves to the front of the line, if that makes sense to you. So it's not that your loved ones aren't there. It's just that some people push their way to the front of the line before the others. I know everybody wants to be able to connect with your loved ones. And I think, I know there's a lot of people who have asked, like, what are some ways to connect with our loved ones if you're not a medium? And honestly, I think that the easiest way would be ask in your dreams, ask them to come to you, because I think that the easiest way for us to see spirit is while we're dreaming, because our bodies are at rest. So you can literally talk to your loved ones and say, come to me in a dream, you know, come visit me. But they will utilize your senses. So they will utilize, you know, hearing something. They will utilize you seeing. Sometimes you see them out of the corner of your eye. A lot of the times people smell their loved one. Maybe it's something that, you know, like a cologne or a perfume or something that would resonate with you. I just talked about the grandfather, I believe, smoking, and you could smell the smoke. And so there's other ways that they connect with you too. So I take everything as a sign. I don't think things are a coincidence, but definitely talk to them and ask them to come to you at night. That's usually the easiest way. So let's see. I would love to bring some other people in. Okay, let's see. I want to bring somebody else in, and also, while I do this, keep an eye on some of those comments. Where did Nick go? Hey, Dan. Oh, where's Nick? Does he have any questions? Do you have any questions that you saw that I should answer while I was reading?
Just dolphins. I'd bring in someone else.
I'm going to. All right, let's bring somebody else in. Okay. Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you tuning in from?
Buffalo.
Oh, you're in Buffalo.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So cool. Now your name is Sarah.
Yes.
Have you had a reading before?
Never. I've been wanting one
Never.
for so long.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay. Well, you definitely have a father who steps in for you immediately. So were you close with Dad? Yeah. It's so funny because I just kept, like, immediately this gentleman moves in and he's like, that's my little girl. It's my little girl. So we got to talk about Dad for a minute. What was his first name?
His name was Gary, but everybody called him Bert because
Bert?
our last name was Gilbert.
Okay, so Bert. All right, Daddy Bert. Now, the first thing that he wants to talk about is he said, oh, well, I feel like there's a lot to talk about. Now, do you have a mother who would have passed as well?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Interesting. Okay. He goes, wait. He goes, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't tell her that Mom's here.
Good.
So Mom's here too. but Dad wants to step forward first because I feel like it's interesting. I feel like Mom's pass was a bit more expected versus Dad's. You understand?
Yeah.
Dad feels as though he goes, before we get to that stuff, he goes, there's a couple things I want to touch on. I don't want to make her cry just yet. He goes, number one, he goes, I love what you did. There's something about his car or his vehicle. There's something about like, he's happy that you did what you did with the vehicle. Okay. So I don't know why he's bringing this up, but I feel like either did you change his vehicle or do something about the vehicle so that you could, like, did you fix it? Did you do something?
Yeah, we did. We did. We fixed it up for my little sister.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Because he's like, thank God she did this and she didn't get rid of it. So she's happy. He's happy about that.
Good.
He wants to talk about the vehicle. He's also saying, God, does somebody in your family do woodwork or something?
My grandpa.
Your grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you take some woodwork of theirs and also convert it or like move it and kind of keep utilizing? I just keep seeing the same symbol of taking things, either still using it and just not getting rid of it and kind of like revamping it so that I can use it again type of situation. Because he keeps talking about I don't know if it's like tables or chairs or like there's something that I would utilize.
I'm not sure. It's possible. We took
Maybe
a lot
not
of.
Even you. It could be somebody else.
It could have been my sister too. Yeah.
Okay. Ask her about it because she's
I will.
using something and he's just like, he's loving the fact that you guys didn't get rid of anything because he's like, I'm around you guys all the time. The problem is he said you weren't able to say goodbye to him for some reason. I feel like there was something that was going on for quite some time.
He was in the hospital for a long time. In
Yeah.
Florida.
Okay. And what's interesting is this was going on for a long time. And what I keep feeling is that, so whenever I keep seeing like decisions that were being made, I feel like if I were you in your position, I'm not happy with some of the decisions that were made. You understand? So it's almost this feeling of like, all right, he's in the hospital. This was going on for quite some time. I think we should have done this instead of this, and maybe that would have saved him. You understand?
Yeah.
But the problem is that whatever the sickness was, it wasn't in just one place. It was in multiple places, and I don't think anybody knew that at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it's almost like we could have fixed this, but then there was this, and then there was this. And so it kind of just piled up to the point where he goes, please just put that down and don't think about if we could have done this or what if we would have done this. Because he says, ultimately, I'm okay. But his communication shut down too. So I don't know if he went into a coma.
He did. They had him in restraints on the bed, and because he would like just start flailing around, and he had tubes in his face, and it was devastating.
He doesn't want you to remember that stuff, which is way, way harder than he makes it seem, right? It's like, thanks, Dad, but it's a little harder than that. But he said, please know that I am okay. And regardless of what it looked like, it's almost as though he was not in his body. It's almost like they were keeping his body alive, but he wasn't there. Right. And he wants you to know that for the simple fact that he goes, I was okay, and I am okay. Okay. You have his ring?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you like lose it for a short period of time and then find it again or something?
I had it put away.
Okay, because he goes, she didn't want me to know that like she didn't have it for a while or she was not doing anything with it. And he's like, but it's okay, I'll let it go. He's very funny. He has like a very funny personality. Your mother stepped forward though too, and she goes, the first thing I need her to know is thank you for taking care of me for all that time. And so she kind of circles back around to this idea that you were more aware of her passing than Dad's. And so what's interesting is I feel like she was given this timeline of like, you only have this long, and then she would surpass that. And then they'd be like, oh, well, now you only have this, and she would surpass that. And I keep feeling she's like a cat with 9 lives who just kept getting through these situations. And yet every single time I feel like you were there to take care of her. And she said, thank you so much for taking care of me, because I know how hard it was. And she goes, and I was not the easiest at times.
Very stubborn.
I didn't say it, but she did. And so she's like, just tell her I recognize that. You have both of their rings. And so what's interesting is your dad brought up his, and then she has hers. And I don't know what you're doing with them now, because you said dad's was put away for a while. I feel like mom's was too. But she says now you're doing something with them.
I don't think that I'm doing anything now, but I have plans for them, obviously, like in the future, like to pass them down.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
As long, however you take that, because it's just
Yeah.
your way of saying, I know what you have planned. I know that you plan on doing something, and they love this, and they're very much okay. They don't want to dwell on the sad things. I feel like, because your mom goes, she has so many questions, and she but mom's like, she's like, a lot of it's just not important. And I know, and I hate being that messenger that says it, but I have to relay what she's saying. And she goes, I just want her to be okay with this, because she says a lot of those questions can't be answered. Reason being is because I feel like even with mom, there was questions about either medication or things like, oh, she said she stopped her medication. And so she said, she goes, like, one of the questions you have, she goes, is like, why did she do that? Or, what if she would have continued doing that or listened to you, and then would things have been better? And she goes, I don't want her thinking that, and I don't want her going through those things, because it's not important.
Right.
Knowing that they're both together is,
that's what I wanted to know.
Is there a picture nearby of the two of them?
I don't have one nearby. No.
No.
Yeah.
She
It's
says,
in my heart, in my head all the time.
no, it's supposed to be up on the wall.
Okay.
Do you have something put away?
Yeah,
Like
I have
closet?
I
Oh
do.
my God. Because she's like, well, because she's like, you need to take it out and you need to put it up.
Okay.
Okay.
I have everything in a box.
Oh, she's okay. So now I have to be that person, because she's like, you got to take the.
She would say that too.
Yeah, she's like, forget about those. Ask her why my picture's not up on the wall, and ask her why these things are being hidden instead of put up on the wall.
Makes
So
sense.
I love readings like this, because it kind of brings light to just the heaviness that we carry of losing somebody. So, so just know that your parents are very much with you. You really need to get those pictures out and put something up on the wall, because that's very.
I promise.
Okay. And just know that they're with you.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
so welcome. You're so welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Bye
All
bye.
right. Bye. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I didn't cry with that one. Hard not to, though. I'll tell you that. All right. I would love to bring, I'd love to bring another person in. This like backstage thing is super interesting to me. I'm trying to still figure it out. I know people have been back here, and I would love to connect with you guys. So I want to answer a couple questions too. Again, for those of you who feel like the readings that I do resonate with you, and that you feel as though maybe, maybe that sounds like my person, because she'd be talking to both of them. Honestly, I would say take it as a message, because a lot of the times, because I can't connect with everybody, there will be purposeful messages that come through that can hit multiple people and hopefully bring some validation. So for those of you who are like, oh my God, that sounds like my grandfather, that sounds like my dad, it very well could be that your father is giving, or your grandfather, whoever you feel, is that it's a piggyback message, is what I like to call. Okay, now let's see how I can bring more people in. Let's see. Where did my people go? For those of you who are still watching, if you want me to continue doing this, I told you Nick Nick is the one who like kind of pushed me to do this. He set this up with Dan. So if you guys want me to do this, please share this, subscribe to our page. Let us know if you want to keep doing this. Maybe we could make it like a Wednesday thing. Is today Wednesday? Is today Wednesday? Yes. Okay. So we can make it a Wednesday thing. Some people are asking if I could tell the future. I wish I could tell the future. It doesn't always work that way. There's been times where I can see things coming up. But I don't like the term psychic, I guess. I don't like the term because I think psychic is kind of correlated with the idea that you can tell the future. And that's not how it works. We're not here to, people with the ability to connect with the other side. We're not here to tell the future. We're here to deliver messages from the other side to bring closure and also to validate that our loved ones are safe and at peace. And then again, our loved ones will come through and say, hey, you have this planned in the future, don't do this, or, you're on the right track and you should be doing this. And so they will give guidance for the future. And so I've learned that through that, it can help us to understand the future. And I think sometimes for my own life and Nick and us as a couple, there's things that I see maybe business-wise or like there's something coming up for us and I can feel those things. But I don't give readings to tell the future. If I did, Megan just brought up lottery numbers. I would love to just use this to go win the lottery, and that would be amazing. So I hope that answers your question for those who asked, and then I would love to bring somebody else in. Let's see. All right, let me just go and see if I can bring someone else in. All right. I think this is Julie. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
How are you guys?
Oh, we're good. We're trying to just figure this out. This is the first time using this and doing this, and I am loving it. So I'm hoping everybody else is too.
Yeah. I know. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get in this. This is the first time I've seen you guys do this. And so
Yeah. Now, where are you from? Where are you tuning in from?
I am from Washington State.
Oh, you're like way. Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the other side.
Yeah, you're way over there. That's awesome. Oh my God, I'm so glad to connect with you. Have you ever had a reading?
Like a long time ago. It was one of those that you kind of have to pay for, and it was my goal was just trying to connect with like one of my really close relatives that passed away like a long time ago when I was younger. So
Gotcha.
yeah, kinda.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, you have a younger energy with you right now. Somebody who passed at a young age, and then you also have what feels as though actually you have a couple people. So I'm gonna try to stay focused here. You have like a father type figure too who steps forward, and if that's not dad directly, then it could also be either an uncle or a grandfather or somebody who would have been like a father to you. But there's this younger energy who would have passed, and so I don't know if this is the person you were speaking of from a long time ago, because I feel like they would have passed before their time. This person wasn't of old age. I feel like either I was young or I was young at heart. Like I just feel like I had a lot of things to still do, and that my time was cut very short, or my time was cut off.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yeah.
This feels like a woman though, and this so there's two different things going on. Like I feel like there's a woman, and then there's also this man. Now, is there a grandmother who would have passed then? Because you understand the grandma?
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm going to start here just because I feel like she kind of pushed the other one aside. It was like, I need to talk. She feels as though her time was kind of cut short. And I almost want to say, like, I really was not sick. So that's interesting to me, because I feel like even though I feel like she would have passed from something shutting down on her, because whenever spirit shows me like a light switch going off, that's my symbol that something would have shut down on me. But other than that, what's interesting is I feel like she was pretty healthy, and she was very like young at heart. Like I feel like even if she wasn't supposed to do something, she's like, oh no, we're gonna go do that because you know she just loved to live life. And she
Yeah.
goes, you're a lot like me. And she doesn't want you to allow those things to get suppressed because she says you allow people to turn that light down in you, and you're a lot like me, and she wants you to stop allowing people to turn that light down.
Oh, you're making me cry. Oh gosh.
She comes around quite often. She talks about, oh, my favorite subject, dolls. What is the connection
Dolls.
to dolls? Did she have dolls? Do you have a doll from her? Anybody who knows me knows I am not a fan of dolls, but for your grandmother, I will talk about it. So I don't know what the connection to the doll is, or if she gave one to you and you have one of hers.
The only thing I can think of is, I mean, it was like now, like it absolutely creeps me out. but I had like a clown toy. And like it is like right, it's nightmares. Trust me, as an adult, I'm like, why did I even like it? But then as a kid, I was like, oh, but my grandma gave it to me. It's a toy, and I love it. And so it was just like it was very old, and you can twist on the back. It was a turnip one that had like it would play a song, and yeah, and the head was spin and everything. And I've had it for a very, very long time. I don't know where I put it now, but I think it's in storage.
Okay, she's funny because she.
Sorry, it's getting phone call.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry.
You're fine.
And so I think it's in storage, but that's the only thing I can think of that maybe would kind of correlate with each other.
Okay. Yeah, because she's talking about passing this down or you having it. And she had a smile on her face. And at first I thought it was because she knew that I hated dolls and I also am not a fan of clowns. So anybody who knows me knows I do not like dolls and I do not like clowns. And she's like, oh, here's both.
Right.
Yeah.
I get you.
So she's laughing about this because she's like, I know you still have this. The other thing too, so she's switching gears. She's saying, she brought up that she doesn't want your light to be dimmed, but she's also saying, I want you to know that I'm happy with your choices because I feel like a lot of people try to control you and try to control the things that are around you. And she goes, I'm happy with the fact that you've stood your ground and you've pushed forward. Because she goes, again, I lived my life like that. And she tried so hard to kind of instill that in you. And she just says more recently, you've really began putting your foot down a lot. I don't know if you've gone to her grave. She shows putting flowers at a grave or visiting and putting flowers down. And so I don't know if that's you or if it's somebody else, but she shows planting flowers. And so I don't know if this was exactly at her grave or just in memory of, but what's with the flowers? Because she goes, I was with her when this was going on.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So my grandma, actually, she used to, planting flowers was like her thing. She had flowers everywhere. And recently I've just kind of caught myself, like I'm starting to like plant more flowers. Like I used to not do it. It's just been very recent that I've been doing it a lot. And it's just all of a sudden.
And
I just kind of picked it up as just one of those random things.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a coincidence because she's really trying to touch on the fact that you've been making some changes and you've been putting your foot down with things, and she's just very proud of you. And so she's really, I think, just here to validate for you that she's with you and that she's guiding you even in those times where you feel like it may not be her and maybe I just want to plant a flower. She's like, yeah, but I'm putting that into your head because I'm with you, and she needs you to know that she is still trying to guide you. Okay.
Right.
She says you don't feel like you have a lot of support around you regarding the things that you're trying to do, because I feel like you have a list of things that you want to do. And she says that you just don't feel like you have the support that you need. And she goes, this is my way of coming through me to tell you that I see what you're trying to do, that she's proud of you. And she's like, just keep channeling me because, she's like, you have so much coming up. And I do feel like you've began a new chapter. I don't know if you're looking to start up a business as well, because she shows what looks to be like my own And if it's not a business, just like my own thing, like in a business could be anything, but she goes, I see you opening up this book, this chapter, and trying to start something new and either start this business or start something. And she goes, I'm going to be backing it the entire time. So just keep pushing forward with it. I think I lost your audio.
Oh, I'm good. Yes, sir.
There you are.
I was just thinking there for a minute. Yeah, I actually do feel that, like, wholeheartedly. Yeah, my mind's blown right now.
That's so awesome. She does talk
Yeah.
about you having, she didn't have lots of jewelry. So she said, there's one in specific though that was very important to her. And I don't know if it was passed down to you or if it is supposed to be passed down to you, but she does talk about a piece of jewelry, almost looks like what would be like a necklace to me though, because she wears it around her neck. And so she talks about this being either handed down to you or you having this, because she goes, I didn't have like a ton of stuff, but there was this one thing in particular that I feel like you would have resonated with and wanted this.
Yeah. She had a few things, and we had like a few, like maybe one joy box from her, and I did actually. She bought each of us, my sister included, necklaces and like a heart, like a certain like shaped item, like a ring or something like that. Mine was hearts, and so I had a necklace and a ring that matched together.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, I mean, what more validation do you need? She's here with you and she's supporting you. And so I appreciate you coming on and allowing me to give you those messages.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be on here, and I appreciate every word you said.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. You enjoy the rest of your day. I know it's a little earlier over there in Washington here, but you enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool. All right. So I feel like we definitely have to do this weekly now, because not only is it amazing and this is working out great, but I feel like I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. And I know that there's a lot of people waiting and stuff like that. Thank you for being patient with us. This is the first time that we've done it this way and tried to utilize this application to give readings and to do this stuff. So, I appreciate everybody's patience as we're figuring this out. And I would love to bring somebody else on, and we definitely will do this next week. We'll just make it a Wednesday thing, like the Addams Family Wednesday. It's so corny. All right. All right, let me bring somebody else in. And I've been trying to keep up on some comments. We appreciate the support. For those of you who saw my reading with Tina regarding her son Jamie, she's looking to continue to try to bring justice to this situation. And so any of the donations that I may have missed here, I appreciate you guys donating. Those donations are going to go straight to Tina, which is so cool that we're able to get donations this way and utilize it in some way to help people. So I appreciate everybody's donations. Let's see. I know there's some people too who resonated with the readings, and so that's awesome. Take it as a message. Let's see. Okay, so let me bring some more people in. Oh, there's Nick. Nick's writing in. Yeah, so live readings Wednesdays at 6 p.m. We're going to do it here on YouTube now that we know that this is working. All right, let's see who I can bring in. All right. All right, let's talk to you.
Hello.
Hi, Edward.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
That's
Terrific what you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, and thank you for being patient.
Of course.
Where are you tuning in from today?
Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, so cool. Lexington. Very cool. We were there maybe, it wasn't last year, the year before, I believe, and did I think I did a gallery. Wasn't it Lexington that we did a gallery? Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I'm so glad that I get to connect with you.
Me
Now,
too.
have you ever had a reading before?
No, I haven't.
Okay. What's interesting is the minute that I brought you on, you have a couple people who step forward. Normally,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Uh-oh.
That could be good or bad.
Right. Definitely harder for me to determine, but you definitely have a couple people around you, which I find interesting. You definitely have some guardian angels, and what's so funny is I feel like you've had some things play out in your life to which you've looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I must have a guardian angel on my shoulder, because how did I get through that? You understand? Because as I'm tuning in, I just keep seeing, they're showing me these little clips of your life in a sense. And I keep seeing these things that have played out that honestly, I feel like you shouldn't even be here right now. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
But you have a higher purpose. And so throughout these things that have taken place in your life, just know that you have quite the crowd on the other side really watching over you. Now, the one thing I want to talk about is, let's see here. Okay. So it's interesting. You definitely have a mother figure. And so is this mom directly who would have passed?
Yes.
Okay.
24 years ago this Friday.
Oh, oh my gosh, that's so funny, because I just wrote July on my paper, and I was going to say, even though my paper didn't show, and I was going to say, because we're in July, and I'm like, she was just about to bring up the month of July. She has been around you the entire time. She's like, I haven't missed a thing. Yep. Okay. And so let's see what
I definitely was a mama's boy. Yep.
Well, she's one of the main people here. Now, I want to say I keep feeling like she keeps bringing up an accident of some sort. Now, I don't know if the accident is referred to something that happened to you or somebody or something to do with. No, it doesn't feel like her passing. Never mind. I'm gonna say that. Something to do with an accident regarding either you or somebody close to you. She keeps saying, like, as she's watching over, she sees these things playing out. The other thing too is there's something about either a heart attack or something that would have affected the heart in somebody.
Well, she passed as part of a heart attack induced from cancer.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. She said the other thing too is she said I was pretty stubborn regarding the treatment that was being given to me. And so as she brought up the pain in the chest and talked about the heart attack, she said, I could have definitely done more and listened, because I feel like you were like a nurse to her and you were sitting with her. Yeah. She recalls a moment where you're sitting on her bed and you're like, Mom, you need to do this and you should be doing this. And like, let's do that because I think this is going to help you. And she's like, no.
Yep. Yep.
And
she battled wanting to do radiation therapy for many, many, many months, and then she finally decided to start doing it. So, yeah.
Now, I don't know. She makes me feel like she was very religious. She had this calmness about her, and if it's not religion in that sense, she was spiritual in the sense that she knew there was more, and she wasn't afraid. Like, there's some people who are diagnosed and they go through this and they're afraid and they don't want to pass, and so they put their foot down and they struggle with it because of that reason. And she goes, that wasn't why. That wasn't why I was so stubborn. She believed in like what we're doing right now, and I do feel she was very intuitive as a person. She either could read people or like know when something was going to happen. She was just very in tune. So she's like, I knew for certain that there was something more than this, and so I wasn't scared, but I didn't want to have to live with these symptoms and the things that came along with this treatment. And I just don't want my son to feel like anything else could have been done because he tried so hard to keep me on track and to do things that he felt was in my best interest. And she thanks you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, she her biggest fear was waking up in the coffin after she was buried. So she's like, "Give me a Pepsi and a pack of cigarettes because first thing I'm going to be is thirsty and need a smoke."
Yeah. I love that. I love that. She just wasn't afraid. She was totally okay with it. Now,
Yep.
has your father passed as well? Because she just brought forward a gentleman.
No, he's still alive.
Okay. Is there a father-in-law that would resonate with you?
My father-in-law, I have not met. He passed before I married his daughter.
Gotcha. Because I do feel that this is a father energy. He's saying it's a father, it's not a grandfather, but then he kind of went next to you. And whenever spirit does it, that means it would have been for the spouse. So please let them know that dad steps forward. I do feel that he's very protective around both of you. And so he's just and I feel like because you're here, it's almost like I need to give you a message to relay. But what's interesting is you also feel spirit. You also have experiences quite often.
Yeah, we've had a couple.
Okay.
At one point, when I lived in Ohio, there was a shadow figure that we believe was her father coming. It appeared in our hallway and just slowly backed away, and had a couple of voices like, "Oh, there you are," and no one else was in the house, so like they were looking for me or something.
Gotcha. Okay, because your father-in-law is very much present around you. And so I just want you to know that he steps forward and he talks a lot. He just keeps saying, "Thank you for taking care of her. Thank you for taking care of her." Okay. And let's see here. She keeps, what is this? So I don't know if he's interesting. I don't know if he carries like a pocket watch. Like, I don't know if she keeps something because I keep seeing a chain attached to it. It's not a necklace, but it almost to me looks like what would be like an old pocket watch. And maybe it was passed down to him from somebody because I don't even know if it was his or if it was just packed down. Let's see here.
I think he may have had a pocket watch. I'd have to ask.
Or a compass or like something. And it's a very interesting object because it's throwing me off because normally it's like, oh, it's a watch or it's a whatever, but he's showing me this and it could either be a pocket watch or a compass. I feel like he was a very active person and I feel like he had a lot in his book of life that he's done. And this was a very symbolic thing to him. And so it's almost like he just wants her to know that he knows that she kept this and he's grateful for that.
Yeah, he also graduated high school with my mother, as an interesting fact.
Well, that's not a coincidence that the two of them, and you never met him, right? And so it's interesting that your mother would kind of pull him forward and be like, "Oh, wait a minute, we got to talk to him too because he's here." So know that they come together, and again, you have a few people behind you. And I would love to sit and talk to you all night. But I do feel that your mother is like the biggest one who wanted to come forward. I feel like your father-in-law, the last thing he really wants to reiterate is I feel your wife wouldn't have been able to say goodbye. And I feel like this is a common thing that's been talked about tonight, the idea of not being able to say goodbye. And she sits with that. And he wants her to know that that's okay. And he knows that she either tried to make it or tried to communicate and it just wasn't supposed to be that way. He wouldn't have wanted her to see him that way. So just reiterate that to her. Okay.
I will do that.
And just know that mom is 100% around you and you do have some serious guardian angels on your shoulder and you continue to have that. So just know that you're very much protected.
That's awesome. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. It was so good to talk to you and I appreciate you tuning in.
You too, and I'll look forward to talking to you again.
Absolutely. Tell your wife.
Thank you very much. I will do that. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. So, I feel like we could go on and on. For the sake of time, I have to cut us short tonight. But we are going to do this again next Wednesday on, what is it, 6 p.m. right here on YouTube. And I would love to keep connecting with you guys and doing these readings and bringing forward, these messages. And I appreciate everybody's patience. I appreciate you guys joining us and supporting this. Please share the video. Comment, share it. Let us know what you guys think. And I can't wait to see you guys. Why doesn't Nick say hi? Do you want to come say hi before I log off? Can you even hear me? Nick. I wanted him to come say hi before we get off. But yeah, definitely set reminders. Let's do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. And again, keep talking to your loved ones. That's how I connect with them. I connect with them because they're with you. So if you want them to step forward, it's you. Oh, Dan says he's on the phone. Who's he talking to? Come over here and talk to us. Keep talking to your loved ones, and that's how you attract them. That's how you bring them here for me to connect with you. So I appreciate you guys trusting me to give you these readings. Any donations that are sent here are going to be sent directly to Tina. So I appreciate all of your donations. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I can't wait to see you next week. All right, you guys. I don't know how to end this, but we're going to try anyways, and then I will see you guys next Wednesday.